Good day everyone, I am Ariel Osden and I will discuss about buying merchandise. So, what is buying merchandise? Merchandise buying office negotiate for additional space for their product presentation with store organization. So, discussion. Brand alternatives. Retailers can purchase either national brand or store or private labels brand. Each type has its own relative advantage. Choosing appropriate brand and branding strategy is integral component of the firm's merchandise and assortment planning process. So, number 1. National brand. Also known as manufacturer brands are product designed, produced, and marketed by a vendor and sold to many different retailers. So, national brand is a product manufactured and spread nationwide using a brand name and owned by this company. Example of national brand is Wrangler, Ben and Jerry, and Levi Strauss. The famous national brand is Hershey's brand and Band-Aid brand. So, the number 2, store brands, also known as private label brand, house brand, or own brand, are product developed by retailers. So, store brand is a product which have trademark or label for the store which sells them, especially a supermarket. Example of store brand include anything from jars of pinkless to windshield wiper blade. Famous store brand is Apple and Amazon. Number 3. Premium store brand. Offer the customer a product that is comparable to a manufacturer brand quality, sometimes with modest price saving. So, premium store brand is a type of store brand that effectively matches customer preferences and thus differs horizontally from national brand have become increasingly popular. Example of premium store brand like Jaworski, Nespresso, or Mercedes, etc. Number 4. Exclusive brand is developed by a national brand vendor, often in conjunction with a retailer, and sold exclusively by the retailer. So, some exclusive brand not only don't want to be accessible to the general public, but they deliberately refuse to be recognizable by ordinary people at all. Famous exclusive brand is luxury brand, etc. Or iPhone is a popular known for its exclusive agreement deal with other notable example include Gucci and Lamborghini. So, number 5. Copycat brand. Imitate the manufacturer brand in appearance and packaging. generally are perceived as lower quality and are offered at lower prices. So, also sometimes called parasitic brands. However, established brand can be much more than simple sometimes something which differentiate between a source of good or services. Example of copycat brands, Android phone. And famous copycat brand is Kentucky and Fried Chicken. Number 6. Generic brands are labeled with the name of the commodity and thus actually have no brand name distinguishing them. So, generic brands of consumers' products are distinguished by the absence of brand name, instead identify solely by product characteristics and identify by plain, usually black and white packaging. Example of generic brands is let's say John Watts, or to buy some Coca-Cola. He could buy Coca-Cola or should buy generic grocery store Coca. The Coca-Cola brand cola as a famous logo in the price tag. Famous generic brands is Band-Aid, Chapstick, Xerox, or Slow Cooker.
Negotiating with vendor strategic relationships. Buyers of both national brands and store brands engage in negotiating in series of issues with their vendors, including markdown money, slotting fees, advertising allowances, terms of purchase, exclusivity, and transportation costs. Successful vendor relationships depend on planning for and being adept for at negotiations. Number 1 is negotiation issues. Number 2 is a price and gross margin. Number 3 is additional markup opportunities. And number 4 is terms of purchase. Number 5, exclusivity. Number 6, advertising allowance. And the last is transportation.
Relationship. An important transformation of business has taken place in industry after industry. First, the age of mass production is over and customer demand unique value. So, value is shifting from product to solution and experiences. And consequently, relationships are taking over as a central element of exchange. Second, no single business is likely to be big enough to cope with the complex and diverse customer demand. This underlines the importance of alliances and network to deliver customer value. Constellations of supplier that can be configured in different ways to meet different customer needs. The example of strategic relationship are end-user customer, suppliers, joint ventures, strategic alliances, external partner, internal partners, competitors, and lastly, intermediate customer.
Legal, ethical, and social responsibility issues for buying merchandise. Buyers need to be aware of ethical and legal issues that can guide them in their negotiations and purchase decisions. Legal and ethical issues. Counterfeit merchandise includes goods made and sold without the permission of the owner of a trademark or copyright. Goods made and sold without the permission of the owner of a trademark, copyright, or a patented invention that is legally protected in the country where it is marketed. Second is the gray market merchandise, also known as parallel imports, involve the flow of merchandise through distribution channel, usually across international borders, other than those authorized or intended by the manufacturer or producer. It is a market where products are bought and sold outside the manufacturer or authorized selling channel. Example, If the owner was selling out is not authorized by the manufacturer of the certain product, the product is considered to be sold in a gray market. Black market occurs when consumer goods are scarce, such as water or gasoline after a natural disaster. It is refers to an economic activity that is illegal, unrecorded, unreported, or in violation of the law. Black market exists so that individuals may evade taxes or restrictive government controls, sell illegal goods or services, or obtain goods through unsanctioned channels. Commercial bribery occurs when a vendor or its agent offers a buyer ask for something of value to influence purchase decisions. Some retailers with a tolerance policy, while some accept only limited entertainment or token gifts. Exclusive dealing agreements occurs when a vendor restricts a retailer to carrying only its products and nothing from competing vendors. Are agreements in which one party promises to deal exclusively with another and does not deal with competitors of the other. Time contracts exist when a vendor requires that a retailer take a product it doesn't necessarily desire, the time product, to ensure that it can buy product it does desire, the time product. An agreement that requires the retailer to take a product it doesn't necessarily desire, the type product, to ensure that it can buy a product it does desire, the time product. Corporate social responsibility describes the voluntary actions taken by a company to address the ethical, social, and environmental impacts of its business operations. Example, from giving to charity to donating time to philanthropic community services. Restaurant buy local farmers' product. Home Depot introduced solar-powered landscape lighting, biodegradable pit pots and paints that discharge fewer pollutants.